welcome back to the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. It's time for race number 4 of this weekend here in Le Mans, France. And as you can tell, we have the British Championship and the French Championship in the house as well. There are some trophies handed out, I think, to the French Championship right now. And we are getting ready for the freshly baked 7-time European champion Norbert Kisch to be starting out along with 17 other trucks that are ready for reverse grid, which means we have, I think, drivers from Chrome class in the front row, which you will see in a second. It's a super close fight still going in Chrome class, so we will give you all the heads up in case you missed race number 3 later on. Really a lot has been going on this weekend, and I can't wait to see this race because mostly it's the most exciting one of the weekend. Of course, we have Fonsi Zebran for the Spanish crowd in the house, and we have Joachim Eberts for the German audience. An dieser Stelle ein großes Hallo. And of course we have Tress Record for the British audience, so see you in a sec.
Thank you, Lena. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the final race broadcast of the weekend here from the Le Mans Bugatti circuit in France. Chaz Draycott here, commentating from the UK this weekend, but still having a great time enjoying all of the racing action. It's been a very busy one, that is for sure. Lots going on at this wonderful, tight and twisty circuit that is always pivotal in the championship. This place and Zolder being back-to-back has really made the teams work extra hard in this very crucial part of the championship campaign. We have the Iveco S E-Way making its way to the front of the grid, driven by Nico from Iveco. Thank you very much, Nico, for bringing this wonderful truck to us for this season. And thank you, Iveco, as well, being such a strong partner of the championship. Let's have a look back at the highlights of race 3, shall we, and see just how things panned out earlier on this afternoon. We had some lovely, lovely conditions, and everyone was excited to see whether Norbert Kisch would do enough to secure himself a record-breaking 7th championship title. Sasha Lenz was on the second row of the grid alongside Jose Eduardo Rodriguez. The two of them ended up filtering into 3rd and 4th until the very end of the race, while everyone else behind was engrossed in different battles. Louis Requenco had a bit of a moment in the early stages of the race and would drop down to 4th place in the Chrome class by the end. Luke Garrett had some good battles with the likes of Stefan Faas and Bradley Smith. Unfortunately, though, he would have another turbocharger-related issue later on after the race, so fingers crossed they can be back out for this one. René Reinert was trying to close in on Steffi Halm and Antonio Albacete. Steffi now dropping back behind Sasha Lenz in the championship into 4th position, but the fight is very much on for 5th between Antonio and René, with just 1 point between the two of them. But at the very front, though, Norbert Kisch made history, winning not just his 17th race of the season, but a 7th championship title in the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. Just last year, he became the first driver ever to win 4 championship titles on the bounce. Now he's extended that ever further and become the first driver ever to get 5 on the bounce as well. And there is Antonio Albacete team. Andre Kurzim there with the team as well. You can see him over on the left-hand side by the wall. The guys are going to be excited and ready to go for this one. Antonio, for this race, should be starting from, I believe, the 2nd row of the grid. I'm just going to check the final race for grid. Yes, it's 2nd row of the grid. He's starting from 4th place alongside Steffi Halm. There is the beautiful engine of the number 25 Scania of Clemens Hecker. And you can see the 100% renewable HVO diesel 5th wheel by Total Energies. I really love these things. I think they look fantastic, as you can see. A little bit battle-scarred this weekend. Certainly, they've been working hard to get this truck running at good pace. They've not had time to clean it in the meantime, though. We're going to head back down onto the grid, and Lena is going to have a word with Clemens Hecker.
And to Clemens Hecker, already spread champagne on everyone today because he won a trophy already today. Thank you for the lovely show, which makes me wear a hat now because it's like hairspray, this stuff. So front row, congratulations, and another race to come. What's your aim? Because it's super close in Chrome class right now. It's like 1 point for each driver, so I think it's very easy to lose or gain.
Yeah, so we on P1. We would like to keep the 10 points of this race, but I have 6 heavy
Did you make the math? So you know the points in the championship for yourself right now?
Yeah, the people show me, so it's one point to each other point, and I think the decision we will have in the fourth race.
Yes, you do. And of course, you have Steffi and you have Antonio on your back. So reverse grid always is a chance for a Chrome driver to gain a lot of points because you're in the front, obviously. But it also means there's a lot of pushing coming from the back.
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure, but so it's not my first time here on this position this year. And the people behind me was always fair. So for me it's important to keep our Chrome points and not the overall points that we do later, maybe in tours.
Okay, he seems to be as relaxed as Norbert Kisch has been beforehand on race number 3 when he was on the same position. So let's see if he will be able to gain this one or just to hold it. I'm handing back to Chess because we will be with the world audience, television audience in a second.
Thank you, Lena. Thank you very much indeed. Sasha Lenz there making his way to the grid. He's going to be starting this one from 6th position on the right-hand side. And as you can see, a beautifully prepared and clean MAN for him to drive, excuse me, in the second race of the day. All the chrome trimmings and everything on the truck. Absolutely delightful. You can see the lovely black ribbon on the A-pillar there for Steve Miller. We miss him dearly this year and we'll continue to do so. He was an absolute light of this team and a fantastic human being, and it's lovely to see that they carry that little tribute to him on the truck. Another look there at the 100% HVO fifth wheel. You can see just how bright and clean it is when it's actually been cleaned. Seems like Clemens Hecker and the team are enjoying keeping the truck in a bit of a battle-scarred condition, let's say. But we're going to go quiet in just a moment's time, and we're going to welcome our international TV spectators from all over the world. We're going to switch over to their live feed, so stick with us if you're already with us here on YouTube, and we'll be back in just a moment's time for the final race of the weekend here from the Le Mans Bugatti circuit.
Welcome to all the fans of the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship here in Le Mans, France. And what a weekend this one has been so far. We have a 7-time European champion, talking about Norbert Kisch, who managed to collect enough points in race number 3 of this weekend. But also we have a lot of stuff going on in Chrome class. So this race also will be a very tight one when it comes to collecting points. And turn around with me, we have a lot of fans in the house. It's such a good spirited over here. Like, people outside are still celebrating because they also have races happening till the night. We have the British Championship, the French Championship, and as I just mentioned, a lot of fans. And now it's time for European Championship and race number 4. And before I will hand over to Chess Draycott, our lovely commentator, I just wanted to give you a little more of the glimpse of this really amazing view here in Le Mans.
Yeah, it's an absolutely lovely grid. Thank you very much, Lena. Hello, everybody. Chaz Draycott here for the final race of the weekend in the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. And this is the circuit that we are racing at here this weekend at the Le Mans Bugatti circuit. As I said in the earlier race today, everybody knows of the 24-hour layout of this place. Not everybody knows of the wonderful Bugatti track on the infield of it. A really, really charming race circuit, and everything feels very close quarters around here, and it obviously shows up the fantastic elements of truck racing that we love to enjoy. The section at La Chapelle, Le Musée and Garage Vert is possibly the trickiest part of the lap. It's really intense on tyres as well. That's after they come out of the famous Dunlop chicane, obviously part of the 24-hour layout. But then even into the final sector as well, we see a lot of moving around in there. There's a lot of weight transfer for the trucks and the drivers to manage. So they have to be very careful at every single corner here. It's not an easy one to get right lap after lap. And we've seen a number of drivers set quite inconsistent lap times over the course of this weekend. We had a lovely scene in the earlier race where all 18 trucks finished. It was the most race finishes that we'd had all year. Not a single DNF in that race, which was great to report. And I think, looking back through the season, there's been only about 5 or 6 races all year where everyone's started and everyone's finished. We're going to go back down onto the grid, though, and we're going to hear from Jose Eduardo Rodriguez with Lena.
And I meant to show you his truck beforehand, because really these races, it has been contact sport. Like Mark Taylor, he was the one who did not finish because he got hit 4 times, which at the end made him stop in one of the races. One who really managed to wrangle through is Jose Eduardo, and he also is on a very good run when it comes to collecting points in the Young Driver Championship. So you're in a good mood getting up with your points in the championship.
Yeah, this weekend it's very good for me. I try to stay in the front with the big guys. Yesterday don't have a good start in the race too, but I try to be a better start.
And now it's reverse grid, and you're very strong in reverse grid to go through. So did you find your gap already?
Yeah, I try to find my place. Don't be anything stupid. But I try to fix the position. And
all right, so you see he already is very calm in his racing mode, so I'll let him go. Good luck to you. Last time I gave him the tiger pants of Clemens Hecker, the lucky ones. I don't know if you saw that race, and he became first. So let's see how it goes today. We have Norbert Kisch and Jochen Hahn right next to each other. They're also like very good in pushing through, and Le Mans really looks like it's easy to overtake because there's so much space on the racetrack. But those who know the racetrack know that it still needs a lot of technique to like go through without hitting each other. Okay, Chess, back to you.
Always great to hear from Jose Eduardo Rodriguez, a driver that is continually getting faster and faster all the time. This is one of the Reed brothers Ivecos, and the nerdy ones, much like myself, will know that the Ivecos are left-hand side turbochargers as opposed to right-hand side. All running, of course, on our 100% renewable HVO diesel. It is Craig Reed that we are with here, the number 68 machine, his brother number 89. Just had word from Alice Holloway, who's on the ground for us this weekend, and mentioned that it is a clutch failure that we've had between races for Luke Garrett. So it was not a turbocharger. Basically, they were stopped for scrutineering because of the damage to it, so he had to be towed back, because when he'd stopped in scrutineering, the truck wouldn't then get going again because of the clutch issue. So, yeah, unfortunately, it's a bit of an issue for them. Mark Taylor had issues yesterday as well, and he is hoping for a better Sunday afternoon. He's with Lena.
And as a mechanic, you always need a lot of tape, because you always can quick fix race cars. However, I think in every sport, no matter if it's rally or like circuit racing. And Mark, you had a very harsh start yesterday. You had to fix a lot on your truck. Today you were already on the podium, so how's this one gonna go now?
Hopefully the same as the last race. The team worked so hard to get me back on track for today. Unfortunately, what happened yesterday happened with racing incidents. So hopefully we'll have a second race, same as the first race.
All right, so good luck to you. I just heard it might be Eiffel time over here, speeding things up a little bit as we're on a delay. So Chess, back to you.
I get it. Thank you, Lena. Just having the discussion there with the producer that I do know what Eiffel time is, but I still refuse to believe that it exists. It's one of those things, it's a myth, I swear. But still, interesting stuff, and obviously with some of the delays that we've had leading up to this race, they want to get things underway quickly, and who can blame them? The organisers have a lot of championships and events to shoehorn into this weekend, and we once again have the Ford F-Max out there on the circuit. May Fisher behind the wheel of this thing for the final time this weekend on another inspection lap. And the F-Max itself, the official truck of the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship and International Truck of the Year in 2019. There were 200 plus prototype units used in the lab testing and road testing, over 15,500 hours and 5 million kilometers respectively used to develop this truck. It's a user-friendly machine, and it's a very strong competitor on the market. We've also seen in the paddock this year the Ford F-Max 500 Custom. I was lucky enough to have a good tour around that machine at Zolder just last week. It's a single seat design with a kitchen and everything in there. in the wonderful cab. A great idea for the versatility of the haulage market. Now, it's been mentioned as well that Luke Garrett and his team had the gearbox given to them by Jochen between races. As we've heard, there were 4 different teams helping out with fixing Luke's truck before today, just to make sure that we had a full complement of drivers. And the gearbox was given to them by Jochen, so it was set up differently, basically, to work with Jochen's machine. So it was configured in a completely different way, and that's why it took them so long to sort it all out, and they finished at 4 AM fixing that truck, and still now have a few things to sort out. Clemens Hecker and René Reinert get going at the front of the order, and we prepare ourselves for the final race of the weekend here at Le Mans. Look at that wonderful scene. The start-finish straight absolutely filled to the brim with fans, and a fantastic scene it is. Led away, of course, by our Iveco S E-Way, the official pace truck of the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. This fully electric machine, driven by Nico from Iveco, and it is a lovely example of a full electric truck. Between it and its bio LNG cousin, they have always been beautiful trucks to have at the front of our field. I know a lot of people will remember the great scene at the Nürburgring a few seasons ago where the LMP3, I think it was the ADAC Prototype Cup race, still had the pace truck at the front rather than a safety car. And it was all over social media and everybody loved it. It was fantastic to see that. And here's our grid then for this race. Clemens Hecker starts on pole position. Great opportunity for him to be right up there now in the Chrome Championship and gain a place or two. He starts alongside René Reinert on the front row for the second day running. Steffi Halm starts in 3rd place, once again hoping to get the better of René. Antonio Albacetti starts in 4th place after a bit of a quiet weekend. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez is 5th with Sasha Lenz alongside him. Sasha's been going really well at the moment. He's got a lot of confidence in that truck. And a row on the grid that needs very little introduction. Row 4 is Jochen Hahn and Norbert Kirsch, and as of the earlier race, 13 titles between the two of them right now, which is absolutely amazing. Mark Taylor and John Newell have been quite inseparable on track all weekend. Hope they're not sharing a car home together. Louis Requenco and Stefan Faas are on the 6th row of the grid. Requenco hoping for a much better result in this one after a really strong qualifying earlier on this morning. Next up, Bradley Smith and Luke Garrett. Both of them have had mixed fortunes this weekend, to say the least. Bradley having a great qualifying and great races yesterday, but very quiet day this time round. Luke with his usual reliability issues. Simon and Craig Reed have been busy this weekend as well. The two of them have been getting their elbows out and having a good scrap with just about anybody that comes near them. That including Stefan Kirsch, who we saw great stuff from yesterday. Got his first ever Chrome podium. Christian Ruppert in 18th place is continually improving his pace and getting more and more track time underneath himself and that lovely grey MAN. Christian does have stickers on the side of the truck saying that he's looking for sponsors, and he and his team are lovely, lovely people, and a real treat to have in the paddock. The atmosphere and the approach, the positivity that they bring is just great. Clemens Hecker there, speeding up and slowing down, just making sure that the brakes are up to temperature as our field makes its way through Chemin-le-Boeuf. The left-hander into the right-hander. Very fast, sweeping chicane. And then into the last couple of corners now. They will slow down and get to a more stable pace. The pace truck will continue on ahead and peel into the pit lane. And then it'll be down to Clemens Hecker and René Reinert on the front row of the grid to build up the boost, hold their trucks on the brakes, and prepare for the lights to go out. In 2024, we had just 7 race meetings in the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship, which meant that race number 28 was the final one of the season. We come here into round 28 now, and we are still 4 races away from finding out who can take the Chrome title and who can scrap for what's left in the Titan category. Let's get racing, shall we, for the final time this weekend here at Le Mans. The field builds up to the line, and the lights go green now And we are away. Clemens Hecker gets a great start. There's a lot of smoke and dust in the middle of the pack. Not sure if that's a result as the earlier accident in the French series, but Clemens Hecker making a really solid start. He's on the outside of René Reinert. We've seen it the opposite way round in most of the starts this weekend, where the inside truck is the one that gets ahead. Bradley Smith really wide on the outside. René Reinert nice and late on the brakes there through the chicane. Gets back in front. And through turn 2, he should have the position. Craig Reed once again having to cut the chicane as they went 3 and nearly 4 wide in all of that. Looks like Steffi Halm having a bit of contact with Antonio Albacete. Antonio now into 3rd position, sneaking through down the inside of the Iveco. Bit sideways from John Newell there. Luke Garrett in the mix as well. Louis Requenco running wide. Sasha Lenz is off on the left-hand side on the gravel. Bit of smoke there as well. Must have been a bit of wheel-to-wheel contact. 3 wide in the middle of the pack, actually. It's Jose Eduardo Rodriguez and Norbert Kish that are on the outside of him. The 3 of them trying to squeeze their way around the corner. I think Norby's off. Norby was on the outside line, the least favourable place to be, and he has been shoveled out of the way. And Jose Eduardo has lost a place as well to Jochen Hahn. Jochen goes through, and Norbert Kish way down the order now. As a result of that, he's fallen right to the back of the field. Hopefully no major damage on that machine. Not the way he would have wanted to carry on his day after just taking a record-breaking 7th title. He's got one of the Reeds just in front of him there. That's Simon in truck 89. This is only the first lap. René Reinert next up in the lead then. Clemens Hecker 2nd. Steffi Halm currently running in 3rd. Then it's Antonio Albacete and Sasha Lenz. Norbert Kish, after that moment, having to recover now from further down. We'll see this fantastic drive through the order. I'm very excited to watch this race. Norby, I mean, look at that on the brakes there. What is that about? Right the outside is Simon Reed. Simon is a great pedaler, but Norby saw an opportunity and he's absolutely sat them down. That was insane. Incredible. The confidence to go that late on the brakes in a 5-ton racing machine. Now back down the inside of Stefan Kirsch. Another place gained by Norby. Stefan and Simon now getting a bit of friendly elbowing each other around the final corner. Penalty markers go running in absolute fear. Unbelievable, though. That move from Norby was delightful. Round the outside of the Iveco. Welcome to the championship, he says. Watch this. That was awesome. Doesn't seem like there's any damage on the truck. Even if there was, we wouldn't be able to tell with Norby's pace usually. He's just electrically quick. But at the front, René Reinert in Norby's old truck still leads the way. Is he going to take his 4th win of the season? Is he going to take his 2nd of the weekend? We'll have to wait and see. He's the 2nd most winningest driver this season, as Norbert Kish now makes his way past Bradley Smith. That's 3 positions in half a lap. I think now he'll be more spurred on. Oh, Simon there, kissing one of the penalty markers and sending it back across the channel. Norbert down the inside now, Simon Reed. And another place gained in this recuperation. I don't think anybody particularly did anything wrong in that earlier moment that saw Norbert off the side of the circuit. It was just one of those things. They were 3 wide into the corner. All it takes is the tiniest little slide and one of you will be pushed out wide and out of the way. And when you're on a corner like that, and as soon as you touch the gravel, you just get dragged out wide all the way around. Next up in Norby's chase is Louis Requenco in the 64 machine, as we see Sasha Lenz under pressure there from Jochen Hahn. John Newell just behind Mark Taylor. He's just ahead of Luke Garrett. And then Stefan Faas in 11th place. Steffi Halm down the inside of Clemens Hecker into the right-hander. Looked like there might have been a bit of contact there. I don't think Clemens thought she was going to fully commit to that move. And no, it doesn't seem like there was any dramas. Iveco chasing Scania, then it's MAN, Iveco, with Jochen Hahn running in 6th place right now. They go around the final couple of corners. I love watching them bounce and wobble their way through these corners. Looked like Norbert Kish was back down the inside of Louis Requenco up into 12th position as a result of that. Let's have a look then. This is the moment. So you'll see in the background there, Jose Eduardo and Norbert Kish, I think they got stuck together in a way. And Norby just ends up off and around the outside. The thing is, he was already on the gravel sort of halfway around the corner, and it's a long old 180-degree corner, that. So as soon as you touch the gravel a bit, it's just going to drag you all the way around. Apparently, Craig Reed is under investigation for pushing another... Sorry, leaving the track and gaining an advantage. I think that was in the very first run through the chicane. And Bradley Smith, I'm sorry to say, is under investigation for overspeeding as well. He got a 10-second penalty in race 2 yesterday for overspeeding. Seems like this might be the second race of the weekend where he gets that. Norbert Kish down the inside of Stefan Fass. Move made there. We've had all the penalty marker warnings coming through now, which includes the 33 of Stefan Kirsch. Clemens Hecker has lost the place to Steffi Hallman. Look at that battle between Antonio Albacete and Sascha Lenz. Now Jochen Hahn is in the picture. He moves through on the right-hand side. Clemens Hecker, Steffi Hallman, Simon Reed, all getting the track limits or penalty marker warnings. Sascha Lenz and Jochen Hahn still side by side there, and Sascha back down the inside says thank you very much, Jochen, I'll take that. And look at that from Jose Eduardo Rodriguez now. He gets the run behind Jochen to try and take the place. Jose Eduardo, as he described these guys before, as some of the big guys at the front of the field. He's very much one of them now in the Titan class. One of the finest racers in Europe is Jose Eduardo Rodriguez. And he has to continue showing that. René Reinert back at the front. Steffi Hallman second place. Oh, dearie me. Jochen Hahn and Sascha Lenz both straight on into the final corner. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez now in the mix as well. Oh, was that another move by Jochen down the inside that's gone wrong? We saw him do it yesterday. He went a little bit hot into a corner and Sascha got the place given back to him as, oh no, Bradley Smith, 10 seconds for overspeeding. Bradley had such a great start to the weekend. Deary me, look at this. Jochen down the inside, locks up, goes straight on. Yeah, we saw it yesterday down at Garagewert. He's been trying really hard on the brakes as Jochen. He did it at Zolder as well to Sascha. Sascha's going to be fed up of seeing the Iveco slide into the side of him. He's got Mark Taylor just behind. Norbert Kish has gotten past Luke Garrett and is now up behind John Newell. And he's only a truck length behind him, really. He's going to be pushing him all the way up the hill. John doesn't want to fight that too hard. He just wants to do what he's doing and focus on Chrome Championship points. Clemens Hecker, speaking of Chrome Championship points, he's holding on to third out right now, ahead of Antonio Albacete on lap 4. Antonio running 4th, Jochen Hahn running 5th, Norbert Kish now up into 9th place. Started 8th on the grid though, so that's not what he would have wanted. But consider this, he's already gained 7 places since he went off. Incredible stuff by the newly crowned 7-time champion. And now he's only a few seconds behind Sascha Lenz. He's only 3 seconds back from him. Devastated for Bradley Smith, though. He's not even having that strong a race either. He's down in 11th place, 8th in class at the moment. And obviously, the Chrome Championship is what we need to keep our eyes well and truly fixed on now. It's Clemens Hecker, Mark Taylor, John Newell. So it's the 3 drivers in the top 3 that Bradley Smith really doesn't want there. And he's behind Craig Reed and Simon Reed as well, 2 drivers that are only here for this weekend. They don't have a big weigh-in in the championship. And what that would incredibly mean would be that Clemens Hecker will take the lead of the Chrome Championship. He would be tied on points with Bradley on the account of the fact that he's got 8 wins in class and Bradley's got 3. But then John Newell will be 1 point behind and Mark Taylor will be 2 points behind. 2 points covering the top 4 drivers in Chrome if it finishes like this. Clemens Hecker needs to make sure he keeps his nose clean, though, because right now he's under attack from Antonio Albacete. Antonio himself, though, is under attack from Jochen Hahn, so this could play into the hands of Clemens Hecker. But what a fantastic season we are having, especially with this Chrome class. It's been an absolute joy here in 2025, covering such an interesting championship with all these battles throughout. Even in the Titan class as well, we've got Sascha Lenz and Steffi Hallman fighting over 3rd. Albacete and Reinert fighting over 5th. There's a lot still to be sorted out here. Norbert Kish may have claimed the title, but there's still a lot to be accounted for as Antonio Albacete and Jochen Hahn go so late on the brakes into Garagewert there. I don't know how they managed to do that, but they managed to make it work. I think I saw some smoke in the background there through the left-hander at Le Musier, but I don't know if it was anybody having a spin or an issue. Hopefully neither, and maybe just a bit of dust that's been kicked up, because it's quite dusty around there anyway. Albacete and Hahn right together. Antonio has always enjoyed battling with Jochen, and likewise, two of the real stalwarts of truck racing. Both of them been in this game for quite a long time now, to say the least. Antonio, nearly 30 years of truck racing. Jochen approaching those sorts of numbers as well. Jochen tries to go late on the brakes, just pushes the back of the MAN slightly into the final double right-hander. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez just behind them. And can you believe it? Norbert Kish 3 seconds behind Jochen Hahn after having his off earlier and having to make his way past 8 other trucks as well. Still only 3 seconds behind the nearest rival in the championship running. Clemens Hecker then, really wanting to hold on to this overall podium place, isn't he? As Antonio Albacete goes as late as he dares on the brakes down the inside of the Scania. Clemens says, nope, I'm not facing that. Has to jump over the inside of the chicane. He's got the place back, but I don't think Antonio will be too pleased with that one. He did gain an advantage as a result of that. And if you were Clemens, you'd think, maybe I should give that back. He's got 5 Titan drivers still between himself and Mark Taylor. If I was Clemens, would probably be thinking about whether he gives that one back, because Antonio was clearly in front as they went into the corner. I don't believe in this whole, you know, you've got your nose in front, so you're entitled to that corner and all that rubbish. But yeah, Antonio was very clearly in front, and then Clemens cut the chicane and ended up a truck length away from him. As a result, it's a bit more of an obvious cut one. René Reinert has got Steffi Halm putting him under pressure once again, much like they had yesterday, but this time the difference is that Jochen Hahn is not all over the back of them, so these two can just fight to their heart's content into the second half of this race. Whereas in the background you can see Clemens Hecker, Antonio Albacete, Jochen Hahn, Sascha Lenz and Norbert Kish all in a train of 5. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez is in that as well, apologies. He was sort of camouflaged behind Jochen Iveco. Steffi right now, though, wanting to take this lead and hoping to take what would be her second win of the year. She got a race victory back at Most in the 4th race of the weekend. She's had 7 podium appearances so far this year. René Reinert has had 6, 3 of them being race wins. We'll have to see whether they can sort that battle out there. Sascha Lenz and Jose Eduardo Rodriguez nice and close together now as well, as you see them head around the final corner. Norbert Kish all over the back of them as well. Mark Taylor waiting in the wings there. He's 9th overall now, is Mark, but he's 2nd in Chrome, which is the more important thing for him. He's getting some good points out of this. And Bradley Smith, well, actually, Bradley will drop down behind Louis Requenco and Stefan Kirsch if it finishes like this. So Bradley will actually be tied with, I believe, John Newell on points, and Clemens Hecker will lead it. It's incredible how close it is. And a drive-through penalty coming through for Simon Reed. So that does help Bradley out a little bit. That gains him a point back, and that will then move it up slightly. Oh, we'll figure out the maths at the end, and I'll go over it for you, but you'll see it is going to be ridiculously close. But Simon Reed has a drive-through penalty for going over the penalty markers 3 times. And there's an incident there under investigation between Louis Requenco and Simon Reed. Steffi Halm is trying her hardest to get past our current race leader as Jose Eduardo Rodriguez and Sascha Lenz continue their fight as well. There's lots of fighting going on here. It's great fun to watch. There is Bradley Smith chasing down Simon Reed. Bodywork flapping away on Simon's truck. Bradley will be grateful for the fact that he gets a free championship point without Simon being there. Clemens Hecker has actually gotten away now from Antonio Albacete because he's defending so hard from Jochen Hahn. So this is helping the Chrome driver get back up to the top. It'd be amazing, actually, because he was here 4th in the championship coming into this weekend. And now he's in the position to suddenly hop back up to the top. But that's just how brilliant this has been. And just to drill the message home as well on the consistency front for John Newell, while all of these trucks trail each other nose to tail through the final corner. In terms of top 5 results this season, Bradley Smith has 19, Clemens Hecker has 18, Mark Taylor has 16. John Newell's got 24 top fives in class this year. That's where the consistent points have come from. There's only been one race this season where John Newell hasn't been in the top 5 in class, and that was in Zolder last weekend. Other than that, he's been in the top 5 every race so far this season. So it certainly shows you it's not all about how many wins you got. John Newell's got just 2 class wins all season, while the likes of Hecker and Taylor have got 7 and 6 apiece. Sasha Lenz taking a wide line, trying to get around Jose Eduardo Rodriguez there on the 8th lap of this race. The sun gleaming off the back of these trucks. It's been a lovely race so far, as Jochen Hahn sends it up the inside of Antonio Albacete into Musée. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez defending from Sasha Lenz as well. All is clean and fair, running on 100% renewable HVO diesel. And Jochen Hahn has got it done. Now he will go chasing after that Scania of Clemens Hecker, and he will try and get an overall podium spot. Norbert Kiss is just waiting in the wings now. And he's not trying too hard to get past Sasha at this point. He knows he's got the championship wrapped up. He wants to have a nice clean truck by the end of this race. He had his earlier off. He's recovered really well. And he's currently back where he started this race in 8th position, but considering at one point he was down in 16th, great to see. Right now, though, everybody in this train is still pretty glued together. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez trying to keep it tidy. Steffi Halm all over the back of René Reinert once again. René's got great confidence on the brakes, but it seems like Steffi able to chase him down with some good gusto in the middle sector. In fact, Steffi was 0.3 of a second quicker through the first sector last time round, so it seems like the start of the lap really suits the Ivecos. They're almost identical in the final sector. Clemens Hecker, in just the space of half a lap, has gone from being clear of all of these guys and suddenly under pressure from Jochen Hahn. There is an Iveco tucked in behind that Scania there. No further action on the moment between Norbert Kish and Jose Eduardo Rodriguez. It's just innocent hard racing as Jochen goes down the inside now into the chicane. Clemens tries to fight him back on the exit, doesn't work, and Jochen gets in front. A lovely move by the 6-time champion, and he now has an overall podium place to try and defend. Clemens Hecker, though, still leading in chrome, so he needs to just focus on that fight. Craig Reed has just gotten past Stefan Faas on that previous lap. Stefan had an issue in the first sector, I believe. As Antonio Albacete puts it up the inside of Clemens Hecker now. Clemens is going to have all these drivers trying to just climb all over him, and Antonio says nope, head over there. Sun's shining, a big old bounce across the grass. Antonio doesn't want to give him the time of day on the exit at all. Sasha Lenz running wide and deep into Garage Vert. Side by side again with Jose Eduardo. He's a brick wall, is this young man. Sasha is not able to get by. Norbert Kish might find himself in a position here to get through as well. The top 2 are glued together. Jochen Hahn has now been unleashed to go chasing after them. We'll keep an eye on his lap times. And everybody else is glued right together in this group. But what a defensive drive this has been so far from Jose Eduardo Rodriguez. Doing an awesome, awesome job. As, oh dearie me, Steffi Halm decides to shed a bumper, makes the front end of the truck a little bit lighter. Jochen Hahn now in 3rd place, wants a piece of the action. And with just 2 laps left to go then, René Reinert still leads this race, but by just 0.2 of a second from Steffi Halm. What a great afternoon of racing we've had here at the Le Mans Bugatti circuit here in France. And we have 2 laps left to savour and to enjoy. The championship will next be on your screens in 2 weeks when we head to Jarama, just outside Madrid in Spain, for a season finale that is going to be unlike any that we've seen in the past few years. There's so many positions and things to be sorted out while we're there. 3rd place in the Titan category, 5th place in the Titan category, and then of course the top 4 in Chrome, who at the moment will only be separated by 2 points into the final race meeting of the year. How incredible is that? We still need to keep our eyes focused, though, on these top two. René Reinert has done such a great job in races 2 and 4 all year, making the most of the reverse grid. He's not had qualifying go his way, but he's certainly shown the pace and the capability when the reverse grid has favoured him. And he seems to be in a position now to take another race win, or can Steffi take her second of the year? Sasha Lenz has finally gotten past Jose Eduardo Rodriguez, I'm happy to say, with no bias, as whoa, Jose Eduardo locks up into Garage Vet, and for the second time this race makes contact with Norbert Kish. Norby will be flashing his lights, waving out the window, shouting all sorts, saying, come on son, please, just let me have a side-by-side battle with you. He's going to try and go around the outside now. No, Jose Eduardo says, not on your life, but in Portuguese. And he holds on to 7th position. Sasha Lenz straight off the bat looking at a manoeuvre on Clemens Hecker, and he goes down the inside of the Scania. There's just one lap to go after this now. We're on lap 10 of 11 here at Le Mans in race 28 of the 2025 season. Clemens Hecker and Sasha Lenz still side by side. Clemens might get freight trained here if he's on that outside line. Jose Eduardo will want to come down the inside, and he is doing. Clemens needs to be careful, because there's going to be a moment like that if he's not. Big contact between Clemens Hecker and Jose Eduardo Rodriguez, and if that puts enough damage on the right rear of that Scania, that's going to throw a championship point away to Mark Taylor. There's smoke or something coming off it. But is it major bodywork? There's a big puncture on Jose Eduardo. So Clemens slides in behind, and then the two of them come together, and just as the two wheels make contact, it instantly punctures the front left on Jose Eduardo Rodriguez's truck. Norbert Kish dives out of the way on the right, and I think Mark Taylor went through as well, actually. Sasha Lenz is 5th, Clemens Hecker is still in 6th, but we'll have to see. I think Jose Eduardo Rodriguez will probably be out of this race, because that front left will not be going anywhere. Sasha Lenz is there, so it's Mark Taylor ahead of Norbert Kish, and then John Newell just behind them. Is this chrome battle over? Probably not, but that is under review, was it? Oh, there is. The tyre is actually separated from the wheel on Jose Eduardo Rodriguez's machine. I think that's on the exit of turn 1, is it not? That's in the gravel at turn 1. Up near the chicane, wow. Yeah, it was a hell of a smack. But was it Clemens Hecker turning in? Was it Jose Eduardo Rodriguez running wide into him? We'll have to wait and see. That was a massive moment. It instantly separated the tyre from the wheel. But a big shame that for Jose Eduardo. He said earlier to Lena that he was hoping for a nice clean race to battle with the guys at the front. He said he wasn't going to do anything stupid. I don't think that was a stupid move or anything. At the end of the day, he's got every intention to look down the inside if there's an opening. But speaking of taking advantage when there's an opening, René Reinert at the front of the field. He's about to round the final corner, and he takes his second win of the weekend. 2 races out of 4, 3 races out of 5 for René Reinert. He wins at Le Mans for the second time this weekend, and once again with Steffi Halm in second place. Then it's Jochen Hahn in third, Antonio Albacete fourth, 5th is Sasha Lenz. Clemens Hecker still manages to bring it home ahead of Mark Taylor in chrome. That's going to really help him out in the championship. Luke Garrett is going to come home in 4th place ahead of Craig Reed and Bradley Smith. We need to add 10 seconds, though, onto Bradley's time. So we need to see. He's definitely going to fall behind Louis Requenco, who was only 4 seconds back. Stefan Faas will also overtake him as he was 7 seconds back. Then it'll be Bradley Smith. And then Stefan Kirsch, who does a load of drifting and wobbling across the line. He's loving it. Christian Ruppert will be next up ahead of Simon Reed. But René Reinert, wow, what a turn of events for him. He's having a fantastic part of the season here. That's his second win this weekend. In fact, it's the same podium that we had yesterday afternoon. Amazing stuff. Antonio Albacete finishes 4th. That's his best result of the weekend, unfortunately. We've got a lot to look at, though, after that one. Plenty going on. René Reinert, Steffi Halm, Jochen Hahn, the podium in that one. Great entertainment. But dearie me. Will Rodriguez be classified? I think that's the main question here. I'll have to wait and see. But what that should do is put Sascha Lenz and Steffi Halm only 1 point apart. René Reinert and Antonio Albacete just 2 points apart, heading into the final race meeting of the year. And looking at the Chrome class as well, it's Clemens Hecker with 2.45, Bradley Smith with 2.45, John Newell in third place with 2.44, and Mark Taylor with 2.43. So just 2 points separating the top four in Chrome. Wow. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. Obviously, there may be the odd penalty and thing here to look at as well. Bradley Smith, with his 10 seconds applied, will drop behind Stefan Faas, I believe. But there it is. René Reinert wins. A great defence from Steffi Halm throughout that race, with Jochen Hahn completing the podium. As mentioned, Antonio Albacete, best result of the weekend is fourth. Not a weekend they'll want to remember that. Sascha Lenz in fifth place, more points for him. Clemens Hecker, sixth overall, wins in Chrome, ahead of Mark Taylor. Norbert Kish in eighth place after a fantastic recovery from being right at the back of the field. John Newell finishes in ninth, and Luke Garrett, after all the help of everybody overnight, gets himself into the top 10. Well done to Luke and everyone that helped him out. Craig Reed next up in 11th, ahead of Louis Requenco. Stefan Faas is indeed in front of Bradley Smith, with Bradley's 10-second penalty applied. Stefan Kirsch 15th, Christian Ruppert 16th, and then Jose Eduardo Rodriguez and Simon Reed should be classified in that one. I'll obviously check with the official results and the documents when they come out to see whether we have Jose Eduardo Rodriguez classified in that race. I believe he will be, but obviously at that point, he's not going to score any overall championship points or Titan points either. Well, there is René Reinert once again into the pit lane, a race winner. Twice this weekend, 3 times in 5 races. That is brilliant. That's his 4th race win of the year. And the likes of Jochen Hahn, Steffi Halm and Antonio Albacete all just have 1 race win each. Like I say, he's certainly got the knack for taking advantage of these reverse grid races. Knows where to put the truck and in the right time. Right place, right time and all that. Jochen Hahn heads out of his machine. And Steffi Halm with another 2nd place. Great weekend for her and the team. 2 2nd place trophies to take back to base. And René will now pop out of the MAN. A truck that this time last year was winning the championship here at Le Mans. And René will be very pleased to celebrate with the team once again. He's really chuffed. Look at it. It's great. Lovely to see it. René is usually a very... I don't know. I don't want to say a word that sounds disrespectful, but you know, he doesn't always show a lot of emotion. He is very, very serious and very straightforward, is René. No mucking about. And yeah, when you see him let out the emotion like that, it's lovely. Really lovely. Jochen Hahn, 3rd place. A bit of a sigh of relief there. And I think he said earlier it was Deanna's birthday, so happy birthday to Deanna. He wanted to give her a birthday present with a race win, but the podium will still suffice, I'm sure. 4 podiums this weekend, 3 3rd places and a 2nd place. And we're going to head down and speak to René Reinert, who is, I believe, with Lena.
2 wins in one Le Mans weekend. I think that's a very nice result and a lot of gold to take home. Are you happy?
Unbelievable, yeah, unbelievable. Yeah, I heard yesterday. This race is my 250th race. So the win, the 250th race is it's super. It's perfect.
You did a very steady job up there. Like, you were gone for a while. It was like, how did you feel? How does it feel when everyone is so far?
I was happy that I could overtake Clemens so fast, and then I saw already a gap, but Clemens was also fast in the first 2 laps. But Steffi, she is unbelievable fast here, you know, and then she overtake Clemens, and I saw she come closer and tried to attack me. So this track is not easy to drive. You know, it's you make a small mistake and then on the brakes or something and you are out and lose maybe 3, 4, 5 positions. And this I tried all the time to avoid. And I was a little bit secure the race, but maybe not so fast. So that gives Steffi the chance to come closer and attack me. But at the end, I guess it was fair also from Steffi, and I could close the race on the first position. It's unbelievably great.
So you go on that very lovely podium up there. Go get your trophy and the champagne. Congratulations again. I think we will hear from the others after the podium ceremony. So Chaz, back to you.
Thank you, Lena. Fantastic to hear from René Reinert. Let's have a look at the highlights of that race then, shall we? A great way to round out our weekend here at the Le Mans Bugatti circuit. It was another great, promising reverse grid race with Clemens Hecker and René Reinert on the front row. Both of them have shown in the past they have the capability to hold their ground and hold the positions. And straight away, it was René that swooped into the lead at the first chicane, and he would not look back from there, although he would spend a bit of time paying attention to his mirrors. Simon Reed and Stefan Kirsch getting a bit friendly in the midfield, and after a little bit of argy-bargy in the opening laps, Norbert Kish had to really work hard to get back through the order, and we saw a lovely drive from him up into 8th place, but he didn't want to risk too much after that and force his way through past the other Titan drivers. He has the championship wrapped up. No need to damage the truck in the later stages. Great fight between Antonio Albacete and Clemens Hecker. Antonio was constantly knocking on the door, trying to be the next one through and get away from that gap, or from that pack, I should say. And the Titan drivers queued up to get through. Eventually, it was Jochen Hahn that made the move. He got past Antonio Albacete, then Clemens Hecker. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez was well and truly in the mix, and they were also watching their mirrors with the likes of Sascha Lenz and Norbert Kish there as well. René Reinert, though, great defensive drive ahead of Steffi Halm, but drama in the final moments as Clemens Hecker received this smack from Jose Eduardo Rodriguez. Still plenty to think about, though, in terms of that incident. That will be looked at after the race, and obviously the next time we'll be able to update you on that will be at Jarama in 2 weeks' time. But René Reinert, 3 races out of 5 he has won in the last couple of weeks. Now it's time for the podium. The final podiums of the weekend. And first off, we will have the overall result, of course. You can hear some of the other trucks making their way around on the circuit. The other championships that we have here. Jochen Hahn, 3rd place for him. He'll be really pleased to have a full weekend of podiums, 3 thirds and a second. Steffi Halm back to the podium for the 2nd day running. 2 second places for her in the Iveco this weekend. Both of the Die Bullen von Iveco trucks on the podium. And well done to René Reinert. Big congratulations to Steffi and a big congratulations to Jochen as well. And these guys, all fierce competitors that have been racing together for a really long time. And another win for René Reinert will be very well received. A big congratulations to Jochen Hahn, and he receives his 3rd place trophy. Steffi Halm, another podium appearance for her. That's her 8th time on the podium this season. And René Reinert told to keep the lid on, and he takes his 3rd win in 5 races. What a great statistic for René. He and his teammate Norbert Kirsch having a really good time of things at the moment. And now we'll get the German national anthem for René Reinert. And an all-German podium once again with René Reinert leading Steffi Halm and Jochen Hahn. Great way to complete their respective weekends. They will pose on the top step for their pictures before the usual changing of the caps. And Richard Kaimberger will do his work, his wonderful work. And he'll get some lovely pictures for the website and all other media forms for the championship. And the hats are changed, and now their next pictures are taken. And in just a moment, it'll be time for champagne between these three very charismatic drivers. And Jochen will spray everybody down there in the media pen. And then one another, and René. I'm sure some of you at home can understand what Jochen was saying there. Imagine it was something mischievous, as it always is. And this is how the championship looks then, leaving Le Mans. 369 points for Norbert Kisch, 84 still ahead of Jochen Hahn, with Sascha Lenz running now in third place. But look at this, he's 1 point ahead of Steffi Halm, and then behind them, René Reinert only 2 points ahead of Antonio Albacete. We've got a lot to sort out still when we head to Jarama. Here's Eduardo Rodriguez in seventh place, ahead of Mark Taylor, Clemens Hecker, and Bradley Smith, who still completes the top 10 at present. He's 10 points clear of Lucas Hahn. John Newell in 12th place ahead of Stefan Faas, with Louis Requenco and Luke Garrett next up. Jonathan Andre and Stefan Kirsch complete the 17 drivers that we've had score overall championship points here this year. We now have the chrome podium and the drivers will be welcomed up. John Newell completes a full run of podium finishes this weekend with another third place. Mark Taylor with another second place. In fact, it's the same podium that we had just earlier, with Clemens Hecker being back on the top step and the two Brits either side of him. And as we've mentioned, that provisionally means that there are just 2 points between the top four in the Chrome Championship with one race weekend left to go. It could not get any closer. They've all had very contrasting seasons. Like I say, John Newell with 6 more top 5 finishes than any other driver in the class. 19 top 5s each for Clemens Hecker and Bradley Smith, 25 for John Newell, and a big smile back on the face of Clemens Hecker after a difficult day yesterday. Now we'll get the German national anthem again. And there we go, the German national. Apologies there, slight technical at my end. Clemens Hecker takes his 8th win in Chrome this season, and Bradley Smith still has himself 2nd in the Chrome Championship though. Like I say, a lot of contrasting fortunes there, as all 3 of the guys will soak one another. It's all friendly fun and games now, but we head to Jarama in 2 weeks' time, and we will see a finale in this category like no other. It's going to be excellent, excellent fun.
Thank you again.
John there making a reference to going to Jarama and see you there, effectively. It's going to be a brilliant way to end the championship, and everybody is excited for that one. A lovely way to complete the season. It always is good fun there in Spain. But this is how it looks then. Would you look at that? After 7 race meetings, 26 races this year, Clemens Hecker leads the championship on countback from Bradley Smith, tied on points. John Newell, 1 point behind the pair of them. Mark Taylor, just 1 point behind that. Basically, if they finished in the reverse order between the 4 of them in race 2, let's say, they would all be tied on points. It's absolutely remarkable how close it is this season in this class. But it's those 4 ahead of Louis Requenco and Luke Garrett, with Stefan Faas, Stefan Kirsch, Jonathan Andre, and Christian Ruppert completing the order. Christian should get ahead of some of those guys, actually, in the final race meeting, which would be very well deserved for him and his wonderful positive attitude to this championship. Lucas Hahn, Martin Matze, Craig Reed and Simon Reed complete the field in Chrome. And we hope, of course, that Craig and Simon have really enjoyed themselves here this weekend in this championship. I'm sure I'll hear them drive past as they go back through to Stoke. Let's head back down to Lena, and she's going to speak to Steffi Halm.
It's girl power down here, and it has been a lot of female power up on the racetrack. We already talked about you being so close behind René Reinhardt. So what's the feeling when you really have such a close fight going on the racetrack?
You know, it's always good. Normally, it's much easier when you're in the back, but the position in front, for sure, in the end, is the better one. I tried to make a little bit of pressure, but it didn't work. He didn't make a mistake, and so I didn't find the right gap to go in and try to overtake. It was too risky for me, so I just waited until he make maybe a mistake, but I wait until now.
And you collected points for the championship, which is the most important of all, and a second place trophy to take home is also very lovely, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. You know, the most important thing at the moment is to finish the races and to take the points, and for sure as much as possible. Now Le Mans is gone, and now we are focused on Girama, and I think we will make it there.
I have a feeling we will make it there. We will see you again in Spain. Thank you so much. And we have our Chrome drivers already waiting. Mark, come over. Also Clemens, we need... Wow, what a weekend. Let's talk. He's still like celebrating over there, but you also have a lot of reason to be happy after this race weekend in Le Mans.
Yeah, definitely happy today. We had a bad race yesterday. Like I said, the team worked all hard last night to get me back on track, and it's just nice to get on the podium twice, and it makes everybody happy, even the team.
And you guys really did a good job. Congratulations, after all, that you have 245 points together with Bradley Smith. 244, so you are 1 point from each other and 43 points. Just so you guys know, 44, 43 points. See, I'm slightly getting confused now, because after every race it kind of changes through. Who loves Jarama the most of you guys? Who's really looking forward to race Jarama?
He breaks down in Jarama, so we'll be okay. So we'll be all right. He'll go and sit in gravel somewhere for us.
Oh, good job from you for at this weekend, really.
Yeah, it was perfect. So right now we go with a good feeling to Jarama, and this year, 3rd year in a row, we will not break down.
I hope so. I hope so.
Okay, I think we can leave it like this, because we have 4 more races to come, and we saw this weekend what can happen in only 1 race. So let's see how the story goes. Points will be collected in Spain. Who of you is going home in between, and who will go direct home? Okay, they're all busy guys. They all have to go back to their businesses. But we will see them behind the steering wheel at the first weekend of October. Can't wait to see you again, hopefully in lovely sunshine. Thank you so much. Also, thank you so much for watching. This has been an exciting race week, and so to say. Also, thank you to Chaz, to Fonzie, and to Joachim Ebi Eberts, our German commentator. See you in a bit. Have a very lovely evening. Celebrate!